So here we are standing outside Glasgow Central Station. Opened by the Caledonian Railway in 1879. Today it's Scotland's largest and busiest station. But we're actually going to get a train from here and we're going to do what the Glaswegians would call going doon the water, except we're not going down the water, down the river. We're going to go by rails to a place called Wemyss Bay, which is another Caledonian station, often voted the finest railway station in the country. From there, we're going to get a ferry over to the Isle of Bute, the great holiday island, to its main town called Rothesay. But we're not coming back by rail, we're going to come back by a railway steamer. In fact, the last seagoing paddle steamer in the world, the paddle steamer Waverley. So we're now on our way to Wemyss Bay. And it's the old Caledonian line, so this line was opened, particularly became popular in the 19th century because of holidaymakers going to Rothesay. It was a big holiday spot for people from Glasgow. Glaswegian workers would come down here. We just passed the site of IBM, which was the first IBM factory, I think, in Europe, just closed a few years ago. Even had its own railway station here. Again, the shortest station name in Europe at the time, just the three initials IBM. That closed with the factory itself. Anyway, we've been coming down the Clyde, we've been following the route that the steamers would do historically, and very, very shortly we'll be arriving in the beautiful station of Wemyss Bay itself.
We are now approaching Wemyss Bay. Please mind the gap when alighting from this train.
So here we are at Wemyss Bay Station. Isn't it gorgeous? Designed by James Miller, the famous architect of the Caledonian Railway. This particular station was opened in 1903, replaced an earlier station, and it's huge. And the size of it reflects the popularity of the holiday-making season, where Glaswegians would come in their thousands to the Isle of Bute, going down the ramp that's just in front of me here, onto the steamers. On a busy day, at least 28,000 people could be coming down those ramps, including the children, of course. This little boy here, very symbolic in this statue of those little boys and girls that were enjoying their holidays way back, and he's got his boat there to sail when he gets across to the island itself. Beautiful station and a very exciting way to start our journey on the ferry over to Rothesay. We're now coming into Sweet Rothesay Bay, as it's called, the main town of the Isle of Bute. And as you'll see from the modern ferry, you can see across to the more historic ancestor of these ferries, the paddle steamer Waverley is right before us. It's come down from Glasgow this morning. It's going to go back up to Glasgow later on this afternoon, and we're going to be on it. That's our way back to the mainland. It's absolutely fantastic. You'll see the twin funnels still belching out a bit of steam there, even though it's at rest while the passengers are off exploring the delights of the Isle of Bute. But the thing that really marks out, of course, is the lovely paddle. So you'll just see under the funnel here, you'll see above the paddle. This isn't going round at the moment, but that's going to be spectacular when we go back, when we get a chance to see the paddle itself. And the name Waverley just picked out there above the paddle itself on the outer box, the paddle box. Welcome on board the paddle steamer Waverley, the last seagoing paddle steamer in the world. And we're steaming up the Clyde. just as generations, thousands of people, generation upon generation of Glaswegians and other holidaymakers have done for well over a century here on the River Clyde. Now you may be wondering, regular watchers of Curator of a Camera, what on earth has this got to do with railways? Well, actually quite a lot, because everyone's heard of Flying Scotsman, everyone's heard of Mallard, the two very famous L&ER locomotives. That's the London and North Eastern Railway. The London North Eastern Railway didn't just run railways, they ran shipping too. And this vessel was constructed for the London and North Eastern Railway and launched in 1947. That's just 1 year before the L&ER became part of the nationalised British Railways. And from that period until the 1970s, when this vessel was withdrawn from service, it was under railway ownership. But to find out more about that connection and to find out more about the paddle steamer Waverley itself, we're going to speak to a real expert on that, Ian, and we're going to have a chat with him just now.
Well, Andrew, here we are.
Nice to meet you, Ian. And thank you very much for having us on board this wonderful paddle steamer, the Waverley.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Well, first of all, can I ask you, how long have you had an association with the Waverley?
Oh, I'm nearly 60 now, so I would say since memory began. That's the Waverley endorsing it. I'm the Waverley's quartermaster, which means you take it alongside the piers of the Clyde and leaving the piers, and I do the commentary on it, and I've done the commentary now since 1988. Enjoy your weekend, good afternoon to you, and thanks for supporting the Waverley. The steamer is now at Doon Pier. The Clyde had connections with the Glasgow and South Western Railway at Greenock, the North British LNER at Caledonian, which the Waverley was built to serve the communities, the Caledonian Railway at Gourock and Wemyss Bay, and there's your connection with the railway companies. It was all integrated transport, Andrew. You know, you could sit in the train from London, get off the train in Glasgow, get a local train to Craigendorn and be down the coast. One transfer in a covered station in Glasgow, and that was you. The Waverley is the last connection with the London and North Eastern Railway. The predecessor to this one was bombed at Dunkirk in 1940, and the captain, John Cameron, of that Waverley brought this one out new. John was involved in Admiralty work, but he was released by the Admiralty in late 1945 to oversee the build of the Waverley for the LNER, which was his employer. John saw the old Waverley at Dunkirk sink, and he was still alive to take this Waverley out when she came back.
In June 1947, the Waverley was completed and ready for service, and I was a very proud man when I took her out on a maiden voyage to renew the pleasure sailings in the River Clyde, which had been stopped during the war.
The Waverley's house colours now were what they were then. The brown saloons, the red, white and black funnels. The colour scheme of the Waverley today is what she had nearly 80 years ago. The previous Waverley, which this one took its name from, was twin crank, but she had a lot of power. She was 19 knots. This Waverley does about 17 and she's 3 crank. The triple expansion only came into the Clyde properly in 1931.
What is triple expansion then for people?
Well, you've got your high pressure, your low pressure and your medium pressure, and they all work in.
And this is what we're seeing down.
This is what you're seeing down below.
Now, moving the story on, Ian, after the Second World War, obviously the steamer traffic is still quite extensive, but by the 1960s it started to tail off, isn't it? So, I mean, is there a sort of sense at this point that the days of the paddle steamers are nearing an end?
Well, the Labour government in '64 put in Dr. Beeching.
Oh yes, a well-known name, yes.
You can tell by my silence what I thought of Dr. Beeching. The Clyde steamer suffered at the hands of Beeching, and we lost the Jeannie Deans, which was twinned with the Waverley for a long time at Craigendorn. She went, and successive bad summers as well meant that you couldn't go on doing it forever.
No, no.
The writing was on the wall. She came out of service in 1973, and there was a man called Terry Sylvester, who was the Waverley's first managing director, you could call him, in preservation 50 years ago. He said, I want to make the Waverley so famous that our withdrawal is inconceivable.
Yes.
But it's people, the loyal people that it has. People that go into the office in the winter and give them a few pound, to kids giving them a 20 pence, to legacies that are left with 6 figures attached to it. All that helps. And the money comes from all over the world for this. Some people never see the Waverley, but it means so much to them.
So we're now coming near the end of our voyage. We're just heading up towards Glasgow now. We've had a fantastic day here on the paddle steamer Waverley, the last seagoing paddle steamer in the world, and with that railway connection too that we've learnt about. Just one of many vessels that the railways provided for this part of the world and all around the coast of the UK for people to travel and enjoy the experience. And this ties this vessel together with those icons of steam, Mallard and Flying Scotsman.